Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ100K, and today I got to answer the question: how long does it take to become a mechanic? I think it depends on how long you've been working on cars before you actually got paid. There's really no set time frame that I could give you. I know before I got a job at a shop, I was working on my vehicles, friends' vehicles, learning, experimenting, trying things, mostly getting things right. And that was a period of a couple years, but it's hard to really quantify that because, I was going to school, for something else. I was also working. So, just on the weekends, working on my own cars to try to fix things. That was a couple years, and then once I started at community college for automotive technology, I went there for about 6 months. Then I got my first job in the actual shop, and then from there, it was a couple months before I started actually doing mechanic work. Now, let me just divide up the 2 different things. At the shop I was at, they divided up between installers and mechanics or technicians. I use that term interchangeably. So the installers were the people that did oil changes, the batteries and tires, and maybe a belt. And the mechanics were the ones that did harder things than that. And also, more importantly, diagnosis. So they would diagnose the problem and then tell the customer, this is what you need, put the part in. If it works, that's great. Get paid for it. Boom. That's what a mechanic is to me. For me, it took a couple months of doing the easy jobs before I started venturing into harder jobs like brakes. I remember the first brake job that I did, I wasn't even supposed to do it, but I was the last person there. And the actual mechanic, he left at like he was off for the day. And then they were like, well, they had one more ticket up, and they were like, "It's a brake job," and I was like, "No, no, I don't want to do it. I can't do it." The guy was like, "Do this job. You could do it. Don't be afraid. You just take your time, and you know how to do it. So go. I believe you could do it." So I was like, "All right, all right." So then I did it, and I was like, "All right, yes, finally, I did something harder than an installer job." And then so that gave me some confidence. So really, the next job I did that made me confident that I was no longer an installer, but an actual mechanic was it was somebody sick. They came in. It was on a Sunday too, so it was uh it was no other mechanics there. It was only installers there, and their brake lights weren't coming on, like none of them. And then they were like, "Mike, you think you could do this?" I had just gotten my ASC for electrical. I got a couple of electrical tools. I had my little digital multimeter, had my wires and everything. I was like, "All right, let's do this." I was like, "Let me try it. I'm gonna try it." So, long story short, I looked up the wiring diagram and I figured out that it was the brake on off switch that wasn't coming on because yeah, I figured it out. And they were coming there to me. They were like, "Oh, was it the fuse?" People think it's always the fuse. So I was like, "It wasn't the fuse." I checked the fuse first. No, it was this brake on off switch, and I put it in, and boom, all the brake lights were coming on, and I got a diagnostic fee of $100. Well, I didn't get it. The shop got it. But then once I did that, I told the manager like, "That's it. I want to be promoted to mechanic." That is my story of how I officially crossed the line between installer and mechanic. Yeah, not everybody's story is going to be like that. Some people, they're going to be working in a shop a little bit longer before they cross the line between installer and mechanic. My advice for you would be take your time, learn how to do things properly. Definitely keep learning. If you're in school, study as hard as you can. If you get the chance, try to take your ASC tests. They do help. They're a lot of theory, but you need to know the theory in order to make it work in real life. Go to school, get your ASCs. If you're not in school, then hey, still study for your ASCs and try to get those. They will make it easier for you to get other jobs if you ever need to. And you will actually learn a lot when you're taking those tests. I'm telling you, they are hard, but they are worth it. Like, let's say right now you have never fixed anything on a car. You haven't fixed your car, your mom's car. You haven't even fixed the Power Wheels baby car. Okay. Don't worry. Just Try to start fixing little things. For example, if you get a chance to put together some furniture, or if you get a chance to put together a small bicycle or a little Power Wheels car, something, try to start doing little stuff like that. At this point, you can learn as much as you can online for free. Learn as much as you can before you step foot in the shop. Everybody's on a little bit of a different learning curve, but I think you will be fine. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments and I will take a look at them and get back to you as soon as possible. So there you go. That answers your question, hopefully. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.